Now on to the negative reviews. Oh, I'm just trembling in fear here.
All right, let's see what we got.
He quotes Breaking Bad on his midterms. Yeah, I watched the show too. I think it's awesome. And need I say more? This guy is the bomb.com. Yeah, actually, they actually get a lot of the science right on Breaking Bad, so it's fun to make the link.
Overall, terrible class, labor economics. Goes through material too slowly. Yes, that comment I sort of understand.
By far one of the most interesting profs I've ever had. You can tell that he really cares about his students. He always tries to learn your name and makes funny comments, and also gives great life lessons. Definitely a class worth taking. But be sure to work hard. Read the required material and don't skip class. Good.
It's quite possible that he or she just failed to grasp the material.
The kindest, best prof ever. Wish I could take every single one of my classes with her. CMN 1148 should be a mandatory course for all first-year students. It is like a course on how to do life. Only thing I would change is that she brought in too many guest speakers and elaborated too much on the slides, but her teaching style is very effective. That's nice. That student obviously really liked me.
Great, Prof. He is clear in his lectures and expectations. He is hilarious. If you need a prof for micro or macro first year, he is the prof for you. Aplia may be a pain in the but it is a mark booster. Well, there aren't very many students who complain about Aplia, but it is true that it is a mark booster, and it serves a very useful function of keeping people somewhat engaged in the class and avoiding people falling 5 or 6 weeks behind me.
On Rate My Prof, there's a system where if they find a professor attractive, they can give them a chili pepper. Did you know that you have not only a chili pepper, but a flaming chili pepper? How does that make you feel?
Say what you will about this guy, but I feel like everyone should take a Strangelove course for the experience.
Actually, it makes me feel good. People think that, they like the way I look. I mean, obviously that's something that people appreciate. I don't have a problem with it.
He's very charismatic and eccentric. He tries hard at it. He gives excellent lectures despite the tangents. I could listen to him for hours. That said, he can spend an hour explaining something that I could sum up in a sentence. Yeah, that's what academics do.
Gets mad when students don't show up and takes that anger out on the grades. That's not a fair rap at all. How hard I grade or how difficult my exams are has nothing to do with the overall attendance.
Ugh, I felt like I was in grade 2. Material is dumbed down to boredom I never knew actually existed. I'm a good student, and this was my worst mark. How did this happen? Boo.
Multiple choice questions are always 5 choices per answer, and all of the answers are right, but on the 5th is the best answer. Well, this comment was not written properly.
I don't know how it happened. Maybe you didn't study.
Worst type of multiple choice question. Well, if I had a smaller class size, if I had 30 or 40 students, then I wouldn't resort to multiple choice questions at all. This year I have changed the examination a little bit. There are only 4 choices instead of 5.
Ogilvie is a straight G. One of the best profs I've ever had. If this guy ever checks this page out and is reading this, I just want to say, you demand Ogilvie. Oh, okay, thank you very much.
This student seems to be pretty sore loser. This sounds to me like sour grapes.
His midterms and exams consist of minor details mentioned in a line of the text and barely anything even mentioned in the lecture. Thanks for nothing, Strangelove. You're very welcome.
Emphasizes events that occurred half a century ago. Well, economic history is kind of relevant, especially for macroeconomics. And it's not true that I emphasize events that occurred half a century ago. I talk about events that have happened over the past 90 years, but for the most part, fairly recent events, such as the Great Recession of 2009-2010.
Easily one of my favorite profs. You show up, listen, take notes, and you walk away with a solid mark. He makes it very clear what to look at in the text for exams. There are 2 midterms and a final. This was my 3rd class with him, and he was the same every time. Don't hate the Strangelove.
Worst prof ever, can't teach. Okay, well I guess all I have to do is just do the opposite of everything and I'll be all right. Boring material unless you are a chem major or love chem. Actually, I can appreciate that. I've taken courses that I didn't like. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the way university goes. You just have to do it.
So I think the problem is that some people are smart and attentive, and some people are and and the want me to tell them what the answers are and don't like big words. And the smart people know to listen and pay attention. And I teach for smart people. I don't teach for dumb.
Never take his class in capitals. Terrible class. Grades exams extremely strictly. Well, for this class, half of the problems were graded by a TA, and they always have an appeal. They can ask me to regrade their exam if they like.
You know, about the other ones, you can never say for certain, but I think you have students who know what it is to be a student. They go to class, they read, they expect to work, and they do the work. And you have other students who are lazy, who want everything given to them on a platter, who've never worked hard for anything in their life, and are basically children in adult clothing.